Brian Baldinger joining us right now, our Audacy NFL Insider, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider Call is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Hey, Baldy.
Hey, what do you say?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man?
Oh,
Good with you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good to have you as always, Baldy.
All right.
So I want to ask you about a video you shared in one of your breakdowns online, and it was one of Lane blocking for a really long time in a pass play. This seems to be something that has happened for consecutive years, in that the Eagles have been, or Jalen specifically, has been very high in sack rate for an offensive line that is really good. Why do they seem to not be able to get the pass game going consistently and enough earlier in the play? Like, why does he have to block for so long?
I just think the quarterback wants to make sure that he's going to protect the football. I mean, that seems to be the most important thing to him, is protecting the football. So he's just not going to. He's going to wait for something to pop open. If he doesn't see it right away, he's not going to throw a great deal of balls with a great deal of timing, except for some go balls where he'll just give the receivers a chance to go get it. But, anything in the middle of the field, he seems to want to hold it and make sure somebody is really open and not throw it into tight windows and risk the chance that it could be intercepted, especially if the defense is playing as good as it is. And I think it's a function of that. There's plays that he could throw the ball earlier if he wanted to, but the risk of ball being tipped, intercepted, dropped, whatever, he just doesn't want to take that chance right now.
Do you think that there's there's risk and reward with, every single decision you make in a football game? Are they at a point where I guess like they are, that is out of whack in terms of risk reward?
Well, it hasn't been, been a risk to this point. I mean, when they were down 26-7 to the Rams, they came out and they threw it really well. And they got a couple of block kicks, and they beat a really good football team that day. When they had to do it, they have done it. And, it may be the second half against, Denver or the Giants, a couple games, they probably could have had a better passing game than they did in a couple of their losses. But by and large, to be 8-2 at this point and to be where they're at, and to be as healthy as they are, I think they're in good shape. But the risk and reward thing is a fair question. Spike, honestly, though, it hasn't affected him yet. It might. I mean, that's what AJ hinted at last week, that, we can't just continue playing football at this level and still win games. But, when you completely dominate Green Bay and Detroit like they did, you don't have to take a lot of risk.
Before we get to the other, things on the field, because I brought up Lane there, wanted to bring up Lane. Jeff McClain reported yesterday they have to wait to see whether the Liz Frank injury requires surgery. We talked to Lane before the season, and he had mentioned retiring before, and then double down is the wrong thing. But we asked him again, is that like a real thing you think about? And he said yes. If this season ends up, God forbid this season ends up with him having surgery and not coming back on the field, do you think Lane calling it quits after this season is something that's realistic?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
He can hint at it, and he can answer the question when it's asked, but I don't think so.
Okay.
He wants to be a Hall of Fame player. I don't think he still has Hall of Fame talent. Nobody has beaten him yet this year. So I feel like, I think he feels like he still has great football left in him. Certainly he could change his mind. But I feel like he has Hall of Fame talent. Nobody's beaten him right now. And he's gone against the best. And I feel like whether this is the end of this season or not, I mean, I think he's going to try to play for sure. He played through two, hernia tears a couple of years ago, and somehow he played in a Super Bowl game. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. No, I think, everybody comes back from this injury. Sometimes you need surgery. Most of the times you need surgery to heal it. But everybody comes back from it. And he'll come back like everybody else that's had the surgery, and he'll be good. It's unfortunate, but I don't think this is going to send him into retirement, send him back to Oklahoma.
I'm wondering, Baldy, can we get this running game going. We've shown flashes
I
of
don't
it.
know.
Yeah.
That's not very good.
Yeah, I just think when they are able to run the ball, I know it sounds elementary with the way I'm saying it, but I just believe the offense flows off of the running game. We look at Jalen in the passing game, and I say, I know we want him to do some things better and take a few more chances here and there, but I just don't know if he's ever going to change the way that he plays the quarterback position. But if they run the ball well, I think that caters to the way he plays the quarterback position from a throwing standpoint. And I'm just wondering, will we be able to get the running game going on a consistent basis the rest of this season?
Well. First of all, I believe you. I 100% believe that statement that, they ran the ball last year to a Super Bowl victory. They played great defense and they ran the ball and they threw it when they had to. But they were great at doing it. I think this Tank Bigsby is a pretty good player. He pops runs now. Maybe I'm not saying Saquon doesn't have it, and I'm not saying you shouldn't feed Saquon because the more he gets it, the better he gets. But Tank has popped some runs now, and it's a different style. He's just, he's quicker, and he's got a little more. I don't think he can stay with Saquon in a foot race, down the field, but he does have some quickness that shows up on film. And I wouldn't mind seeing, a little bit more, or maybe even two backs at times.
Yeah.
The way a lot of teams, Miami's playing two backs right now, and, a little more two-back type offense. But, look, they got to move the line of scrimmage better than they are. I mean, that's what it comes down to right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be better at the point of attack. And if you're not moving the line of scrimmage, there's other ways to run it. There's angle blocking, there's powers, there's pin and pulls. There's other types of runs where you can use, the athletic ability and foot quickness that some of these guys have. But I don't see them knocking guys off the ball like they did a year ago.
Yeah, I totally agree. Listen, I think Tank, he is going north and south. He gets to that line of scrimmage and through that hole just more decisive than Saquon is right now. We love Saquon, but like you said, I know what I'm seeing with my eyes, and every time 37 gets the ball, he seems to find a way to get through that hole. I want to ask you real quick about Fred Johnson in the running game. I know he does a good job in the passing game. Nobody's going to be Lane over there at that right tackle position, but how do you think he fares in the running game as a run blocker, Fred Johnson?
I liked him.
Okay.
I like him. He had some good run blocks last week when he filled in for Lane. He put some guys down. He's a different type of – but they're so lucky to have him. I mean, honestly, I don't know what Jacksonville was thinking of, but they're lucky. And Fred's a good player, really good player. And he understands the offense, and he's smart. There's going to be a drop-off. It will show up eventually. It could be against Jadeveon Clowney this weekend. I don't know. But there'll be some drop-off. But they're lucky. He's a good, steady player. He was good. He was good in the run game. I thought he moved people and put a couple people down on the ground the other day. They just got to be better as a group right now.
Yeah.
Brian Baldinger with us. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. The Eagles had, speaking of Fred Johnson, had some success with those packages with Freddie in there as the sixth offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Does this sort of, do you think that this prevents them from doing it anymore? Because I guess it ends up being Pryor being the sixth guy. Is that pretty much dead until we get Lane back, or do you think they try it?
Oh, they tried it last week. Matt was in there as the sixth,
Okay.
sixth tackle or sixth offensive lineman. They had him out there. That's his role now. That's what he'll do. And honestly, the whole league is doing it. And if they don't have a tackle, they can do it. They have three tight ends. The Rams play three tight ends. But everybody, Miami's put a backup guard in there at an F-back tight end. I mean, because it makes you defend another gap, right? I mean, you're Spike's the linebacker right there, and you've got three guys at the end of the line of scrimmage. You have to defend another gap, and you're going to defend it with a lineman, with a linebacker, with the safety. I mean, everybody is doing it to some degree. So you'll see Matt out there. Matt will do it. I don't think he's as good as Fred at it, but, I mean, the guy's 6'8", and Maybe he's 350 today. Maybe he's 348. I mean, he's a big man. So, he's got a lot of Polynesian blood in him, man. He'll be okay in that role.
Yeah, it's funny when we talked to Jordan Mailata about those sets. He simply said it's just a math thing. It's just it gives us
numbers.
Yeah, and he said when we have that out there, we have the numbers advantage against them, and it just makes everything a little bit easier. Wanted to ask you about the defense, Baldy. Now I know both of these guys have been helpful, but I'm going to make you pick one or the other. So, the defense has looked really, really good with the addition of two players. So they traded for Jalen Phillips, but also they've had the return of Nakobe Dean. Which one do you think has been more at the core of their better play on defense, Dean or Phillips?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, if I had to choose, I would say Jalen.
Okay.
But I don't want to in any way undermine what Nakobe has done. He just blows people up. I mean, Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery are excellent pass protectors. They're excellent. And he blew them both up. Like his ability to strike and just violently strike people it's different than almost everybody. It's different than anybody else they have on the team. Mm-hmm. And so there's a role for Nakobe to come down there. And there's a reason why Vic sends him and none of the other inside linebackers. They send Nakobe after the quarterback because, like, when he strikes people, he moves people. And he's really got – that's a really unique skill that he has.
So, the Eagles play the Cowboys on Sunday. When you're I don't watch a lot of Cowboys, but all you need to do is look at the highlights and the stats to know that the Cowboys can put up points. This feels like a real test for where this Eagles defense is against the Cowboys on Sunday. What are we looking at with that Cowboys offense?
Well, I mean, they have beat the Giants and the Jets and Washington and the Raiders. That's their 4 wins. I mean, they're 4 of the worst teams. Now I don't want to undermine, because Pickens is a really good player, and CD is always, if he kept the ball in week 1, they would have beaten the Eagles. He had 3 major drops in that game.
That's right.
So, but that's an excellent X receiver. That's an excellent Z. They will get tested, Spike. This is a good test. Now, this is a different defensive line. I mean, Jalen Carter, Jalen Phillips, they weren't out there week 1. So I want to see Jalen Phillips against Terrence Steele. I want to see Jalen Carter against Tyler Booker. There's matchups that favor the Eagles. And when Dak has been under pressure in games this year, I mean, real pressure, like he has not thrown the ball like he did the other night against the Raiders. So, I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns the other night. I mean, it was about as easy as it gets. So I think this will be a different type of test. But it is going to be a good test, though, for them and for the Eagles both.
Yep. All right, Baldy. Thanks as always. We will talk to you same time next week.
Appreciate it, brother.
Enjoy it, guys. Yep, you bet.
There he is, our Audacy NFL insider, Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side.